So if you didn't already know this, a few years ago, Zack Snyder, famous for directing 300, Watchmen, Man of Steel, pitched an idea for a more mature take on a Star Wars spin-off to Lucasfilm, but ultimately got rejected. That was probably the best thing for him anyway, because Lucasfilm would probably have an easier time holding onto a greased monkey than a director. So, Snyder took his idea, changed the names around a bit, and eventually reworked it into the Netflix film Rebel Moon. So, this is basically Zack Snyder's Star Wars fanfiction. And, well, is it a good fanfiction? Not really, but it looks cool. And I mean it when I say that. It is visually very stunning. That is Zack Snyder's strong suit. The VFX look incredible because not only do they look convincingly real in a lot of places, but also creatively imaginative too. There's a lot of cool little details, like the fact that the blasts from their guns aren't just like generic sci-fi laser blasts. They splash against anything they hit like they're made of molten metal. Every scene is full of 1,000 tiny little details like that add a tangibility to everything that just makes you want to learn more about the mechanics of this universe. Unfortunately, that is where the film stops being interesting. Because as unique as the visuals are, they just can't make up for how dull the story and characters are. For one thing, every actor delivers their lines like a plank of wood, with this dull, disinterested tone that makes it difficult for us to care what happens to them at all. Second of all, the story just feels like nothing. It's about a farm girl who goes out into the galaxy to gather together a team of rebels to fight against an evil empire. And while each vignette where they round up a character is pretty cool, it's so easy to forget why anybody's doing any of it half the time. And I think there's a pretty widely understood reason why the story is so hard to follow. You see, back when Zack Snyder was directing Justice League, he had to step away due to personal tragedy. So they hired Avengers director Joss Whedon to finish it for him, and Snyder's initial vision didn't make it to theaters. However, after years of support from fans, Warner Brothers eventually allowed him to finish his cut of the film, and it released as a big hit on HBO Max. And it seems Netflix is trying to inorganically make that same magic happen here, as they have promised that a bigger extended cut of Rebel Moon will release later on down the line. And as a result, you can tell where important stuff got left on the cutting room floor. Like, I'm pretty positive that the main character's backstory, which we only get the bullet points of here, is going to be greatly expanded upon in the extended cut, because it's just not fleshed out in this version. Also, what's the point of doing an extended cut if your original version is just a Netflix film? It's not like they went theatrical, extended, streaming DVD cut. They're both just on Netflix. It's a really dumb decision, made as a misguided attempt to recreate a very specific set of circumstances that you can tell has backfired on Netflix. Well, those are just my thoughts after watching this movie. What'd y'all think? Agree? Disagree? Think I'm stupid? Let me know in the comments. And let me know what you thought of this film. As for me, I say, Rebel Moon? More like Rebel Mid. At least it's cool to look at.